This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel G with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, man. Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
Oh, we're here. We survived. Not numbly hours of AEW TV today to be here with your AEW All In 2024 post-show review right here on the Value Wrestling. On the Big Time, along with Mr. Paulus, Clarke, and the one and only Mr. Miguel. I like to piss off the fans. Z. I like to make AEW cry. Tasty Toes. The meat master of meaty meatness. Mr.
Not like they are. They were the ones that were talking about meat. I'm done.
Yes, I'm sure you're done. What a card we had tonight. As always, usually AEW delivers in somewhat in their pay-per-view. Their TV might suck, but overall, they delivered a decent pay-per-view. I wouldn't call it the pay-per-view of the year or the pay-per-view of the year for AEW. It had some high good matches in there. It had some low spot matches in there, and it had a bunch of car collisions of just let's shove everybody on a card of an event that doesn't necessarily need to be there. But we can't get Jon Moxley to come show up, so, I mean, everybody else can, right?
I want to stop you real quick, just for a second.
Yes.
You said even for AEW, meaning you're saying this is not the best AEW pay-per-view they put out this year?
No.
In your opinion?
No.
What AEW pay-per-view is better than this one? For you?
If I give it to any, probably Dynasty.
I don't remember what the hell happened on the card, so I couldn't tell you.
Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. I mean, it was probably one of the better shows. Maybe Revolution with the end of Sting. Again, this had some good matches, but I don't think this was like the great show. There was some other matches in here that just were very lackluster. There was some lackluster ending the matches.
But before you go on, you might want to switch this around. Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I don't want your heat, Miguel. That's right. You need to switch that shit around. This is not a Gloria Estefan song. Turn the beat around. I got my own problems.
It's gonna get to the point where they just completely kick me off the platform. He starts just too much shit. He needs to go.
Something like that.
Canceled.
We'll see. Okay. Is everybody happy now? Is everybody in their right places? Are we all good now? Everybody should be flippy-floppied around. There we go.
Yeah, just like a Young Bucks match. A lot of flippity-floppity.
Yeah.
Okay. All flips, no fist.
Anyways, we started at the bright crack of dawn. If you were up at 8 o'clock Pacific time, or what would that be, 11 o'clock East Coast time, you got to start off with 0 hour, the first hour of yabbering between all the people. And then the second hour, we started out with well, I won't say bangers, but we just got into it. As we open it up with the 0 hour with a 16-man tag team match. Because AEW has to do it bigger. So they're like, how many men can we put in one match? Let's put 16 of them in a match. Well, what 16 are we going to put in the match, Tony Khan? I don't know. Hold on. The first winner is...
Oh, jeez.
Just came together. He was picking names out of those stupid hats he wore all week. The WB, the Warner Brothers, all those goofy hats that make him look like a retard. He's out there pulling the names out of people's hats. So, the 16-man tag team on one side, and they don't make sense. We had Private Party, who were announced as the MCs of All In also, but you never saw them again after this match. They were teaming up with Dark Order, Johnny Hungy, and the other guy.
Alex Reynolds.
There you go, because they do stuff on Ring of Honor, which Mr. Clarke watches, and so he can remember who they are. We don't see them on AEW, so we forget they exist.
I'm also looking at the notes over here.
Oh, okay.
That just names everyone.
Well, I'm looking at different notes. But anyways, Jay Lethal and Satam Singh and random Arya Davari and Anthony Ogogo. That's one team. Private Party, Dark Order, Jay Lethal, Satam Singh, Arya Davari, and Anthony Ogogo. They took on the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Leo Rush. And you're like, this just tells you that Tony Khan felt like he needed to get everybody on the freaking card for the night. In the end, let's see. There's no, okay, Davari. Dante Martin scores the win for his team with the crossover fog splash to Davari. Yes, the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Leo Rush got the big win. It was very hard to keep up with this match with this many people in the match. And that was probably the other thing. It was like still early. Like I was still trying to get ready. I mean, yes, it was 9 o'clock, but it was still like, okay, then. And we ran into this ready to launch it. And yeah, so it was a match. Why we had it here, I don't know. Why we needed that many men in the ring at the same time doing every move that they can think of. And it was a fast match because we only had an hour to get like 4 extra segments into the show. So this match was like, blah, 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 blah. You're like, okay. Anything else before we move along?
No, you can keep moving.
Next
up was Will Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii versus Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. In the end, most of this match
Stokely's a fool.
Most of you sit around Nightingale and Statlander, who had established chemistry. The tags that brought on Ishii and Hathaway into the match provided entertainment. As later, hubris led him to pain and suffering. Ultimately, a win as Ishii got the pin on Stokely Hathaway. Nightingale and Ishii win. A New Japan guy gets a pin on an AEW pay-per-view. That's a big thing to celebrate.
Still sad though. That's just messed up.
For all intents and purposes, it was a comedy match, but
Right.
he wasn't made to look bad.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's a win.
That's a
For
win.
That is a
AEW,
win. No,
win.
that is a win. But here's the thing. I need to clear the air. Is Ishii signed with AEW?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
Okay, I just need to know because everyone's like, "Oh, he's not signed. He is signed." I just want to know if he is or isn't. But like you said, Ishii looked good. It wasn't too comedic on his end as it should be. You know, I'll take what I can get. I'll take what I can get. I can't ask too much of this.
Yes, and so I mean, it was a decent match. It was what you expected between all the players in this match. I mean, it was more of a spectacle comedy match, especially when you have Stokely out the way.
I actually saw more from Stokely than I expected. He got more moves in and landed them. I was like, holy snap.
So
he hit more moves than Mercedes Moné.
Anyways,
Word.
After that, in case you weren't tired of a 16-man tag team match and weren't prepared for a 4-way trios ladder match and a triple threat tag team match, Tony Khan had to go out and find 10 more men to put in the match as we had a 5-on-5, a 10-man tag team match. As Dustin Rhodes, the dual champion, carrying both the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles and the Ring of Honor tag team titles. He's a double champion. And if you weren't paying attention, then I don't know where you were, because they told you numerous times it's Dustin Rhodes, it's 2-title Dustin, it's a double champion Dustin Rhodes. He's the Rhodes with more titles at the same time. Anyways, he was out there with the Von Erichs, Ross, and Marshall, who he's part of the Trios tag team with, and then Sammy Guevara, who's his tag team partner as the Ring of Honor tag team champions. Sammy Guevara doing somewhat of what looked like his own version of the Wolverine outfit, while Brian Cage, who also wound up in this match, had his own Wolverine-looking outfit in this. And then Katsuri Shibata teamed up with Dustin Rhodes, Von Erichs, and Sammy Guevara. Big question is, where was Katsuri Shibata later in the night? They took on the team of Undisputed Nothing, the Lost Kingdom, the joke of the kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and they tagged up with the Cage Up Agony, Toa Leona, Bishop Kaun, and Brian Cage. And of course, in the end, let's see, Dustin Rhodes captained his team, and they don't really give me a whole lot of details, but I think Guevara got I forgot who got the win here. Anyways, the Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Von Erichs, Katsuri Shibata come out the winners in this match.
And post-match, everyone gets the Iron Claw.
Yes, that's right, because then the only living brother of the Von Erichs, Kevin,
I believe.
Yeah, Kevin got in the ring and locked an Iron Claw on, and then everybody put an Iron Claw on somebody, and we had the big Iron Claw moment. And, yeah. Then we had the big segment of the evening.
Dustin was double champion.
Yes, Dustin Rhodes is a double champion. He's got 2 titles. He's the better Rhodes because he has 2 titles at the same time. But now we won't be surprised if Cody winds up with 2 titles. I don't know. Any.
Doubt it.
Oh, I know. Anyways, Enraged Saraya, who had a match on Dynamite but didn't get a match on this show in her home country. She was the women's champion last year. She won the women's champion on AEW All In last year, and this year she gets nothing. No match, no real presence. So she's enraged. She comes out here marching with her parade of family because they all need their little spotlight, because Tony Khan's all about, let's give them all a bunch of spotlight. This brought the highlight of the whole thing was this was the return of Jamie Hayter, and now Jamie Hayter is going to feud with Saraya, which I am like, I left Saraya on my TV at this point because she's just worn me out. With the, oh crap! What AEW fan pissed you off now that you have to add 2 cents to this?
No, this just in. Saraya was on the post show, literally going off on everybody. Since you brought her up, someone just posted this right now. She's making a big old scene,
You know what?
And yeah, no,
I hope
Good.
legit.
I hope she throws a Karen fit and she quits. I hope
It's
No,
looking that way, but she
he's
had to bring
quitting.
she had to bring her whole family with her too. It looked like a
But if her
something
contract's
off of,
if her contract's up, I mean that's a way to write her off TV.
Yep.
Figure it out.
bye, Felicia.
I mean, why wouldn't she make a stormy fit and say I quit? If you're not going to use me, I quit. Why wouldn't I mean? Whether she could go away for a while and whether she comes back to AEW, at least you could use that advantage to a storyline to make her feel maybe important again instead of just this. Or she goes back to AEW and becomes important again. I would have her throw a fit.
She's already at AEW. How is she going to go back to AEW?
Well, if she quits, I mean, in storyline, if she quits AEW and then returns later, you know what I'm saying? But I mean,
Gotcha.
I would have her quit, even if it's in storyline. Even if it's like the Daniel Garcia. You wrote him off of TV until he came until you figured out what you're going to do with him next. Why not have her do that full Karen? I mean, it's a part of her character. Have her throw a complete fit and say, "I quit. I'm done with this." Yada 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 yada. I can't do a women's revolution here because no boy in the back doesn't know how to listen to nothing. I don't know.
Lord.
Anyways, as we transition from 0 Hour to the main show, we had the introductions for the competitors in the trios London ladder match. The London ladder match, which was going to be the teams of the champions, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch, taking on the Bang Bang Gang of Juice Robinson and the Guns, the former champions, taking on the House of Black of Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King, taking on Claudio Castagnoli, Pac of the BCC, Costa Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta of the BCC, and Pac, who I'm not sure if they're including in the BCC or just attaching to the BCC, and it gets really weird, and we'll talk about more of that later, but we're going to talk about the London ladder match with the tiny ladders. It wasn't me, or these just ladders like smaller. Am I just used to the big ones? I mean, eventually they peeled out a big boy ladder, but I was looking at these ladders and go, like, are these like, I mean, half the guy, Killswitch and like Brody King were taller than half the ladders they had in this match most of the time, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense.
They let Hornswoggle go shopping for the ladders.
I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know. This really didn't turn into the train wreck I was thinking because they really didn't use too many of the weapons. They just kind of fought all over the place. The cameras were having a hard time keeping up with all the other stuff. There was a couple weird table spots where these tables didn't break. I don't know if they're buying all their weapons at Temu or what. But
No Temu you expect to break.
Yeah.
I thought someone was going to get seriously hurt with those tables not breaking.
Yeah, I know. In the end, Robinson took it. Oh, Mother Wayne got involved, like Mr. Z said. She got spray painted in the hairspray in the eyes and taken out. Nearly put through a table, but was saved. I thought she was, but no. Juice went through the table because of Killswitch. And eventually, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta and Pac. It was Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta who climbed up the ladders and grabbed the belts. And now you have Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac. And it's weird as the trios tag team champions here. No, we're not going to help get the House of Black over. No, your best trios team right now, especially with Juice Robinson around, is the Bang Bang Gang. No, we're not going to give them to them. We're gonna give it to Claudio, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta. I guess for Pac to have his big moment in Wembley. I don't know. This was a wild card team that you created on the last night. So last night on Saturday Night's Collision is where they won their spot into this match. And then you have them win the match. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. This was odd. I would have thought maybe since Buddy Matthews re-signed that big contract and maybe you would want to keep Malachi Black around, you would, maybe give them the titles. Or the most entertaining trios team that would give these guys something to do would be Juice Robinson and the Guns. So
yeah,
he's not thinking logical.
Anyways, it was not. I don't know. Christian Cage pulled off one of those edge moves where he jumped off the table and speared somebody, or jumped off the ladder and speared one of the people through a table that didn't really give away. But yeah, it was. I don't know. It felt like this was what you would see of somebody trying to live up to other people's ladder matches that actually did something. It just wasn't there. It wasn't as bad as I was picturing, because I figured this was just people everywhere and broken ladders, broken tables, and broken everything. So it really didn't go that far, but really wasn't anything. I don't know. All of it was confusing. And the winners were even kind of like, okay. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
It was a cluster fluff. Period. In a discussion.
Yeah, it was. This didn't set the right tone for this pay-per-view. Mr. Z, your thoughts? You have anything to add? Or are you still bickering with fans? I think you're over there like trying to find a fan to piss off. You're looking for an AEW fanboy. I see it in your eyes from over here. Anyways, we went from that ladder match to AEW.
No. My thought process was just, other than the cluster that it was, I mean, I just don't. I could have swore that Malachi and Buddy looked like they were ready to be out the fucking door. Excuse my language.
Well, but I think Buddy just re-signed that big contract, as I understand it.
Okay. I mean, I get it, but I was just, like I said, I'm not. I don't know. I really don't know.
And then we got a real spin, because we went from that match to an actual match that was actually decent. When we went to the AEW's World Championship match, was also kind of pissed me off, because why was this the second match on the card when this is one of the few matches that you definitely had a decent build behind? Whether you're big fans of either side or everything that's gone into this, this is the only match on this whole card almost that had some decent long-term storytelling to. And it was the second match on your card. And was the best women's match of the night, if not one of the best matches on the card, period. Anyways, AEW Women's Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. This is a solid back and forth match. Toni Storm telling the story of being upset with her underling turning on her and having a hard time taking her out. Toni Storm got, and here's another thing they did tonight. They did these weird pre-intros to the entrance. Like Toni Storm, they came into this picture that said 1924, and nothing happened. It just went from that right back to her normal entrance. And I'm like, okay, aren't these things kind of supposed to like blend together? If you're adding an element, it shouldn't blend, not just be like, okay, down to the regular entrance. I was like, okay, so why do we show this picture? I mean, I'm confused. Can you give me some information on what the purpose of that whole crap was? A decent match here. Mariah May coming out as a winner in the end, finally winning the AEW Women's Championship. A solid match. In the middle of this match, Mariah May slapped her own mother. They showed her mother at ringside, and she walked over and slapped her own mother. Why? They never told us why she slapped her own mother. And then Toni Storm went over and hugged her mother after the slap, and she got the thing. So then I was like, well, maybe her mother's going to get involved as a swerve. Tony's going to think that she's there to help her, but then's going to help her daughter. But out of nowhere, she walks over and slaps the shit out of her mom. Like, not just a little tap of love. It was a slap. Right. Luther was back, so that was a good thing. May did get bloody, which makes Mr. Clarke happy because he called for blood in this match. Storm Zero.
Tony caught on the headset.
Mariah May
ref. Now tell her to go slap her mom.
Mariah May got busted open when Toni Storm dropped the Storm Zero on the steel steps. And it was a good match. Yeah. This was a good match. I can't complain about this match. I'm not a big fan of Toni Storm's character, but this storyline turned out to be pretty good. Mariah May looks like a strong AEW's Women's Champion. The only thing is the AEW's Women's Championship doesn't look strong.
No. Because
the way they put this on the card, it's like the other women's title is more important than this title, and that kind of pisses me off because though I don't like Toni Storm's character in this, she's done a lot of work to make that title feel important and making Mariah May feel like a big star, but Tony Khan kind of is crapping on it in my eyes. By putting it
we said it last night, and we've been saying it weeks on end. This is the only match that had the most incredible build. Storytelling wise, you couldn't get better of a story than this, and they treat it like a second-rate title.
Yeah, no, it was
like, how is your top women's title treated like a second-rate title? That's what we've all complained about.
No, well, because it doesn't work for her, brother.
It was disappointing. I mean, everything they done was good, but it's like if it's not the main, why is the TBS title this the TBS title was so high up on the card. That's where this match should have been.
Yeah.
Anyways, after that, we had the bathroom break match. Yes, it was announced shortly after this match that numerous fans had left the seats and were up in the concourse area, either buying foods, merchandise, or using the restroom. I guess there was a whole plethora of people that it was so much that it was making breaking news on the interwaves. Anyways, it was the FTW title match, Hook versus Chris Jericho, the champion. This match started off like deep trash because Big Bill and the Bad Apple got in the ring and they were beating down on Hook pretty much the whole match. Kastuyori Shibata was on 0 hour, but he couldn't come out to help his friend. I thought they were buds, but nobody came out to help Hook. He kept getting beat down, and then Hook showed us why, because now Hook is super Hook. They are trying to build Hook like the next like Super Cena. He got beaten down by 3 guys, took all this stuff from Jericho, kept coming back, eventually peeled his tape off his eye and showed the world that he wasn't blind, pulling almost a Jake Roberts back in the day, or Ricky Steamboat, or any of those other guys. This match was not good. The only thing that got good was in the end, the Bad Apple tried to get up on the arena, and Taz finally got pissed off enough that he got involved enough to stop the Bad Apple from interfering and locking him in, as Hook locked Jericho in and forced Jericho to tap out to Red Rum. Hook gets back the title. Big celebration. The other things I'll say about this, though, is A, they need to get better sound quality, people, or Jericho can't sing. Because when I listen to Fozzy on other things, he sounds good.
He can't sing.
When he does these live singings, he sounds like doo-doo. He does not sound good. So, again, he did come out singing to his own Fozzy crap and got a big entrance and pops and fireworks. Hook got a weird entrance where he walked up all the arena and walked out. He did get his the guys in the he did get sung out, right? Or no, he didn't have anybody. I forget Hook now.
No.
Anyways, Hook got the title back. It wasn't one of these best matches. The storyline was kind of there, but I don't know if it was ever necessary. I don't know if Hook gained anything with a feud with Jericho. Like, I don't know if this made Hook any better.
Does anybody?
I don't know if this made... Well, I don't know. I'm just saying here, in this moment, I don't know if Hook got any value out of this feud. I don't know if this escalated him, or not escalated, elevated him to a different level. You know, like a veteran should be able to take a young star and help elevate them. Here, I don't see how this really progressed Hook. He got the title back. That's the good thing. Hopefully, we can see the end to the For the World title. Is the Learning Tree dead? I'm ready to chop it down. I'm ready to go get the chainsaw and saw that right half.
I know you'd like to see the end of it. It ain't the end. I can almost guarantee you that.
So.
Now, hopefully it's the end of this particular feud.
Yes.
We are all on the same page on that.
Yeah. Because I am notorious for pissing off fans today, fans said that Jamie Hayter looked like Becky Lynch off of Temu.
There was moments that she did come out there with the red hair, and I did feel there was a little bit of a Becky Lynch feel to her. I did feel that, but I wouldn't go that far because Jamie Hayter has made herself in her own way. But,
I've got nothing. Jamie Hayter got herself over. Period. The fans got her over. It's how she's been presented is what sucks. And that's what really hurts me to watch AEW, because there are fans, even casual fans, that have wrestlers that they really like to see on TV. And they just don't see them enough.
Yeah,
or Tony just doesn't know what to do with them.
If they really wanted to play that, they should have kept her face hidden, and that red-orange hair. People probably would have thought it was Becky for a moment. But there was a little bit that I was kind of like, I could see a little bit of Becky in her presentation tonight.
Yeah.
Anyways, Hook wins back the title. Then we go into more tag team match that just was unimportant, unsignificant. The tag team titles on the line. FTR versus Young Bucks, who are the champions versus the Acclaimed. What can I say? I think the highlight was the end of this match, because at the end, the Young Bucks retained the titles, only for the Grizzly Young Veterans to show up and chase out the Young Bucks and then attack FTR. So, Young Bucks, who are limited limited time, limited dates come out. They came out to their Sergeant Pepper Yellow Submarine look. They made it kind of a thing about that. But I don't know. I don't know what you do when you put the tag teams and just keep them on the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are not elevating anybody.
I don't know what was more entertaining, them calling that out, or my wife singing Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what was more entertaining.
The only thing I guess is this is the Grizzled Young Vets, so I would have to say that we're probably going to see the Motor City Machine Guns in WWE real. I think that was probably the spot for the Motor City Machine Guns, and they didn't get them, so they got the Grizzled Young Vets here. I don't know how you. I don't know what you do with the tag team titles at this point. You're kind of over FTR, of course. Now I guess they're going to go feud with the Grizzled Young Vets, which will be will be some nice feuding. That'll be some nice tag team action there. Yeah. Those are two great tag teams who know how to work tag team wrestling. So you're going to get some great styles there. So that'll be great to watch. I love FTR. FTR is a true tag team. They play into that tag team. The Acclaimed are just lost in the shuffle. I mean, are they going to get another tag team title shot now? Who else is on the tag team roster that should be stepping up to the Young Bucks? I mean, the Grizzled Young Vets, but they're going to be with the FTR right now. So I'm kind of like, yeah.
Now, see, I caught Max Caster's rap about the whole Bret Hart tribute, and then when they showed FTR, I was like, "It's right."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got major announcements tonight. So many major announcements.
Oh,
the whole night was major announcement this, a major announcement that, major announcement this. Mr. Clarke, are you going to say something about this match?
Whatever it was, I've already forgotten it.
Oh, it's a tag team match. I don't know if there was anything important or great about if you had a different opinion about the tag team match for the titles. Young Bucks retaining him.
Well, the thing is, we didn't see this coming. We thought the titles were going to switch hands, whether it was FTR, whether it was the Acclaimed. The fact that the Young Bucks retained was like, okay, I didn't see that one happening.
I don't know where you go.
But then again, like I said, that's exactly. But then again, just like I said during our weekly roundup, just because the Young Bucks are on limited dates does not mean that they're dropping the titles. That within itself, I didn't think was going to have any bearing. And unfortunately, I was proven right.
You jinxed it. It's your fault.
Jeez.
In your Tasty Toes moment of the night. No. But yeah, we got the major announcement.
Don't be laughing too hard, Tasty Toes champion.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing
major
at that. You
announcements
don't think that hurts my feelings? Remember, folks, only you can lick our toes. Just saying.
Oh, what? No. What?
Yeah, y'all asked for it. I was trying to be good all day. But no, we're just going to keep picking on me. Tasty Toes this, Tasty Toes that. Well, fine. I'll give you the Tasty Toes. Let's go.
Anyways, we got the big announcement that All In next year is going to be in Texas Stadium in June, switching with Forbidden Door. But now Forbidden Door will be 1 year from this date in London. And then in 2026, All In will be back in London on this same time in 2026. So keep up with all that. So for 1 year, they're going to take All In and do it in June and do it in Texas. And then they're going to come back at Wembley and do Forbidden Door at Wembley this time next year. Talk about confusing. And then there was one of the other TV shows, their Grand Slam or something they promoted on the show that was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, in Australia.
Yeah, they're going to go
Grand
do
Slam.
WWE went and did it. They did a show in Australia, so now they're going to go try and do a show in Australia. And you're like, oh, cool.
I think they're probably going to get a good turnout just because Australia doesn't get, the amount of wrestling that, say, the U.S. does.
Yeah, they'll get a good turnout.
So, I mean, that's going to be fantastic for AEW business.
Anytime wrestling goes overseas, like, it's going to get good business. It doesn't matter what brand you are. So make your money. Make
Now,
your money.
I don't know, because if you remember the old school World Wrestling All Stars, they didn't. Do so
Oh,
brother,
oh
let
yeah.
me tell you, brother,
Oh.
we're getting wild in Australia, brother.
well. Oh God, no!
Anyway,
Do not use him as a spokesperson.
anyways, ladies and gentlemen, next up was the Casino Gauntlet match. The winner of this match gets a world title shot whenever they want it. Whenever they want it. They got an open contract to whenever you want him. And there was a whole plethora of lists. Evil Uno was supposed to be in this match, but we never got there for whatever reason. So, who was the first man out? Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy got another weird entrance. He got dropped from heaven or off the Fortnite bus. I don't know. There was a scene. There was some music. this light beamed down and it opened, and Cassidy fell on his face on the ground, then stood up. They gave us a little logo of his face. He did his thumbs up and then walked out. And then his normal entrance started. And again, it was one of these like, why are we doing these weird things? They didn't blend into one another. Like they didn't, like it's not like he fell into the arena on the floor or it opened up a scene and he came walking out. It was like a pre-recorded thing, and then he came out and did his normal entrance. And it was like, and it made no sense. Where did he fall from? Heaven? The Fortnite bus? Was he doing the Apex dive? Was this Call of Duty coming in? I don't know.
Oh, gee.
And then the second man was Kazuchika Okada, and I guess this man can only buy one new ring outfit a year because he's still wearing, he's not doing the silver and white. Now he's in black and white. At least they let the money fall this time, so he got the big, old school New Japan feel entrance with all his money falling down. And so Orange Cassidy and Kazuchika Okada started this off. Then one of the other big pops of the night, Nigel McGuinness, returns an in-ring action for this with no big payoff. Kyle O'Reilly then came out. Then the next big pop of this match, Zack Sabre Jr. showed up. Roderick Strong was next. Mark Briscoe was next. Hangman Adam Page finally made his showing. Then Jeff Jarrett was there, which nobody understood. And
he got quite the damn pop.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
I know you're not. I know you are not a Jarrett fan, but he got a damn good pop.
He did.
He got one of the biggest pops of the night.
Yeah. Then the semi-surprise, we didn't know when this man was going to show up, but we knew he signed to AEW. Ricochet showed up. He got some of it a pop, but he didn't get the pop that you would have thought. Like, I think they dropped the ball, not making him either the last man or building this up a little more. His music kind of sucked. His WWE music was way better. They couldn't get any of that. It was just not the best entrance for Ricochet. It just felt like Ricochet was another guy. It was like you missed every chance to make this a big moment. Why not like have a countdown or get everybody anticipated? They just started playing this music. Ricochet came out like it was another WWE match. There was nothing here, and I know you. There's not a lot he can do to make himself look different, but I'm still like, if this is your debut moment, it did not feel like a big debut. Like this should have been a game-changing debut for Ricochet. He's come to AEW. Absolutely. He should have came out in a moment that was huge. He should have probably been number 2. You could have had Orange Cassidy and then had Ricochet come out and give him that grand entrance. Coming out here, it felt very lackluster, and I don't know if the fans were just they were chewing wrapped in what was going on, or they didn't realize it was Ricochet because the music was like boring. Like this was not the music I would expect for Ricochet coming to AEW. I don't know. I think they missed everything on debuting Ricochet here, and I'm just like, this is what we did. And you could tell the fans.
I was going to say, and before we moved on with that, it was like, like you said, ZSJ was in there. I was more a little frustrated. I'd say, if you're going to announce ZSJ, announce him as you see fit. 2024 New Japan G1 Climax winner. You have to plug that in. I didn't even hear the announcers plug it, so I was a little frustrated on that one.
The announcers did talk about it.
They did mention the G1.
Yeah. I don't know if they said he was the winner, but they just said he came off.
Oh, they did?
They did say he came off the G1 Climax. But it was very slight and not, it was only if you were really.
Yeah, no, but come on, Excalibur, do your job, bro. Like, you're supposed to be the know-it-all.
But anyways, Ricochet came out, and I was just kind of like, he did not get a pop. Jarrett got a pop. Zack Sabre Jr. got a pop. Orange Cassidy got his pop. Nigel McGuinness making his return got a pop. And here comes Ricochet. I was like, this was the wrong match to debut him at, the wrong moment. This was just wrong. They dropped the ball.
I disagree. I disagree that it's the wrong match. but they didn't do their due diligence. They didn't do their jobs right.
Yes. Well, he should have been second or last, not where he came out, because it was just like such a drop of ball moment. No big entrance, no big feel, no big presentation,
No fanfare.
I'm just like, and the fans, they were like, "Oh, yay!" And then it was on back in the match. Like, it was so short lived. And then another big booing weird pop was for Christian Cage when Christian Cage's music hit, and everybody, "Oh, why?" So Christian Cage came out there. Christian Cage,
he did it again.
And here Christian Cage looked like he was about to win, and the countdown was coming. I'm like, it's going to be the return of Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland's going to come out. No, we got the return of Luchasaurus. If you paid attention, it was his Luchasaurus music. It was the Luchasaurus graphics on it. They said Luchasaurus. He came running down to the ring as Luchasaurus. And earlier, after the Triple Trios match, Christian had barked at Kill Switch, and Kill Switch had, shoved him off, blown him off. I mean, he didn't physically shove him, but he just kind of blew him off with his hands and left him. So everybody thought in this big moment Luchasaurus was finally going to turn on Christian Cage. No, he helped Christian Cage win this match. And then that just killed everything for me in this match, because I'm like, out of all the names here, the person you're going to give this open-ended world title match to is Christian Cage. That's your answer, Tony Khan. You're dumb. There's no reason. Now, why is Christian Cage getting another open-ended title shot here? Did he not get the one at from Luchasaurus? That Luchasaurus gave to him? So we're doing it again?
For the TNT title.
Yeah. So here we are again. And I know Christian
So
Cage
are we gonna run are we gonna run it back? I mean, are they gonna copy what W did? Is Adam Copeland gonna be the reason why Christian Cage can't always get his title match? Are we gonna run that now?
I don't know, but why Christian Cage? Out of all the people you had in this match, why are we going with the safe pick? Not even the safe pick. I mean, it's a safe pick, I think, for Tony Khan. Like, oh, we know Christian Cage will do it. You can be fed to whoever the world champion is. But why? Why? I mean, all the guys that you could, and then the person you gave that didn't know how the night ended. I'm even more pissed off because I would have rather seen like half of these people in that match. But I did. Why? Why Christian Cage? What made you go, oh, we'll do Chris? That killed this match for me. I was just like, that's it.
Yeah.
And Luchasaurus helped
All right,
win.
everybody.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, how do you have? I mean, I get Kazuchika Okada's already a champion. It's the Continental Crown, but I mean, he's still been better. Orange Cassidy is one of your favorite toys. Zack Sabre Jr. was in this match. Why wouldn't you want to use him again? And Hangman has one of the best stories for at least Swerve. Why wouldn't he have won this match? I would have been okay with Ricochet to have a open-ended match. It would have been, one of those crazy things, and maybe he still would have got fed, but it would have been something.
Yeah.
But why Christian Cage? That killed this match for me. When I saw Christian, I was like, what a waste of a match.
When you look at the booking of this match, you really wonder if Tony Khan is just reading the plays from the Book of Redacted.
Oof.
Are we sure?
Oof.
Are we sure they don't own it? Are we sure they don't
At
have...
this point, I'm not sure of anything. I am not sure of anything.
Yeah, we don't know anymore.
Are we sure that they're not buying into this company like the rumors are saying? Because, I mean, what a disappointment. And it wasn't a bad match, but when you had Christian Cage win it, you're like, that's what we're doing?
Yeah, it was the ending. It was the finish. And who won?
The ending just
it took the wind out of the entire arena. They were like, what the...
Yeah, well, it took the arena, everybody at home, everybody just kind of went,
yeah.
What? I mean, you couldn't help but go, we did all this for that? Like, nobody would have get. I mean, I somebody show me a commentator, a podcaster, anybody who booked Christian Cage to be in the Gauntlet match, not only to be in it but to win it.
Let alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what? I need Tony Khan. Tony Khan, I need to understand why you thought this was the way to go, or why you even put this man in this match.
Why was this thought of as good business?
Yeah, I'm so vastly confused. When you have
this
names,
is Vince Russo booking because it's shocking.
I guess that's the best word for it. I mean, the names you put in here, and I'm like going, hell, even with who won the title, even with the way the title, the main event ended tonight, I would have probably been okay to eat a Jeff Jarrett win here. That wouldn't have been my favorite thing. Wouldn't have been the way I would go, but it would maybe make, at least it would have made a little more sense. At least I could make a little more sense out of Jarrett winning an open title shot. You know what I'm saying? Christian's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I can't get there.
How bad does the booking have to be for Big Tyme to put Jarrett over?
I mean, I look at this. I mean, Orange Cassidy would have been a better choice. Okada, Zack Sabre Jr., Hangman. Those would have been my top guys. For other shock value, I would have put Jarrett in there as a better shock value. Or at least give Bart Briscoe a moment to shine, or Roderick Strong. But I mean, it's like Christian Cage. Like, if you look at the list of names, Christian Cage would be the last one that I would even be able to find a reason to fight for. I could give you better reasons for everybody else in that match than Christian.
Yeah.
It hurts it just hurts my head because it's just like, why? And you know Christian ain't winning. So it's like, why even waste a match on somebody that's not going to win? And if he does win, that's just going to be no. Unless that's the storyline, because it's an open-ended contract, he can cash in at any time. So it's kind of like Money in the Bank. So could he be the screw job? Could he be the screw job answer to what happened tonight? So is it really going to be a short reign because we're going to get a screw job finish somehow? And we're going to have an AEW champion in Christian Cage, which might be the catalyst to bringing back
oh my goodness,
Adam Copeland, so Adam Copeland can take another title from Christian Cage.
Oh, golly.
Don't put that out there.
But that's okay.
Don't put that out there. You know who's listening.
I don't
you
give
know
him.
who's
He's making
listening.
logical sense. I understand the way you feel, Miguel, but Big Tyme's only just making logic out of it.
I know.
Don't make any other logical purpose. Unless, I mean, if Christian loses, it's great. But the only other logical conclusion I can make is based on who won the main event tonight. Christian Cage could use this to screw him, win a title, win the world title now, because Christian's been having titles pretty much consistently. He went from the TNT to tag team to trio titles. So, I mean, why not? And this could be the catalyst to bringing back Adam Copeland, and then him and Adam Copeland can continue a feud that's kind of like, nah, at this point.
This is the story that never ends.
So Adam Copeland can be a world champion in AEW. That may be the long story there. Which people are going to get, oh, Adam Copeland's going to be an AEW champion. I know, I shouldn't have said it, but damn it. Anyways, the AEW American International Championship match, Will Ospreay versus MJF. Another good solid outing between these two. It's what you expected. Of course, in some of these matches, especially in this match, they did take a lot of breaks. Like, they'd stop and there'd be no action going in the ring. And I'm just kind of like, they're filming the ring. I'm like, isn't this when you go to the crowd or cut out somewhere, not just show the ring where nobody's doing anything? Eventually, and somewhere in there, today or yesterday, MJF's diamond ring got stolen, so we don't know where that is. I think we do now. So he didn't have his diamond ring. He tried to use the title belt, then he had brass knucks, and out of nowhere, a masked man comes out and stops him. We find out Daniel Garcia's back. Daniel Garcia causes a distraction. We get a hidden blade, and then Ospreay finally hits the Tiger Driver 91. Hopefully MJF's okay, because he did land kind of fair. I mean, I think MJF landed better than Bryan Danielson did, but
he landed clean. That was a clean Tiger Driver. You couldn't get any better landing than that.
Still looks.
I'm just saying, from me seeing it thrown as many times as it has been, coming from me, that's just as clean as you can hit it.
Anyways, Ospreay wins the match. The referee tries to give him the American title. Ospreay won't touch it. Out of nowhere, Christopher Daniels comes out with the international title, hands it to him. The world's all back at peace because now the international title is back. Moments of this is, I guess MJF broke into Lex Luger's house at some time and stole his trunks from back in the day when he was American-made Lex Luger. And yeah.
I was going to say, those trunks look awfully familiar.
I'm going to look back at this time period. We knew the story ultimately was Ospreay getting the title back. But I'm going to look at this time period with MJF and the American Championship with fondness. Because it was MJF. He was very entertaining. We knew it was only going to be a relatively short reign, but I enjoyed it so much. I can't wait to see what MJF does next. What's his next story? What's his next statement?
The only thing that irritated me here was Will Ospreay got the big Assassin's Creed entrance because they were debuting the Assassin's Creed game coming out in November. And I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. Can't wait to see Shadows. But Will last guy
He's
got
also the aerial assassin.
Well, I know why.
Yeah.
But he got the big production entrance. MJF did. That's what I'm like. If you're going to give one guy a big production entrance, give the other guy some of the same rub so they feel like on the same level going into this match, at least visually. MJF had a bunch of girls out there waving American flags, and it was kind of like, you did this big production for MJF, or for Will Ospreay, and MJF is on that same level, so why did he not get that same kind of rub? But anyways.
I don't know. I was kind of cool with having that big-ass flag with his face as the stars.
Yeah.
Ospreay's back with the International Champion. We'll see what MJF does to moving forward. Then the match that just didn't live to be a match, and there was a lot of dead spot here. We had the TBS title match, Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. There you
go, right there. That's perfect answer, Mr. Clarke. He yawned right when you mentioned it.
Another bad Moné maker. Moné wins.
Oh my god.
Moné got the big fancy entrance.
Give up on that finisher already.
Right?
Don't do shit you're not supposed to.
Baker got Baker got pyro. Moné came out in the old carriage being pulled by the fake English guard. One of them looking like Wardlow maybe. Had a bunch of corgis in the back. It's just nothing here to really talk about.
Brittany is very good, but she's not a miracle worker. I'm sorry. She couldn't really carry Moné to the match it should have been.
She's not
then they had to fight over a glove.
Yeah.
Kind of made sense, but it's like whatever.
Moné is just not. I mean, her promos aren't good, and even her wrestling seems to be lackluster now. Like, she's not. I mean, I don't know how she goes from Sasha Banks, one of the best female wrestlers starting the women's revolution in WWE, Mercedes Moné, that's like, on multiple levels, where I can't even say it's about the booking now. It's like it's kind of Mercedes herself.
That doesn't work for her, brother.
Bro, look, bro, I know how to make her the best thing in professional wrestling, bro. Just align her with Vince Russo, bro. We'll take her to the moon and back, bro.
Oh, Lord.
We almost made it.
From there, we went into the coffin match for the TBS title, Darby Allin versus Jack Perry. This match was not important. Eventually, Jack Perry taped Darby Allin's hands up and then took the belt off of Darby Allin and wrapped his legs up, put him in a body bag, then took and dragged the body bag all the way down the ramp to the coffin, in a traditional coffin that you would go by at the, whatever you call it, the funeral home. This wasn't a built casket. Threw him in the casket with the body bag, but got stopped because Darby Allin tried to zombie out of the body bag only to take a knee and then get shut into it and lose in the most unlackluster ending to a casket, coffin, anything like this match. This was such a lackluster match. And one of my biggest
Did anyone catch the thumbtacks on Darby's face?
Yes, Darby Allin's glued thumbtacks to his face, and then raked his face against Jack Perry during the match. Jack Perry, quit zooming out when you have Jack Perry entering the ring, because all you do is make him look itty bitty. When they first showed him, I'm like, is that -0 in a mask? Is there what? Who? Did he find Eric Rhodes' match? I'm like, he looks so freaking tiny. And then they zoomed him. Oh, it's like Jack Perry. And yeah, the match was lackluster. And then the tag team champions, your Tampon Bucks, came out with a can of kerosene, not gasoline, and dumped some inside the casket and started covering the casket. And then the lights went off. And I'll give it this, the highlight of the point, we got to hear Seek and Destroy by Metallica start playing through the arena. Not that old crappy Sting stuff. And Sting came out, making his return to AEW to save his buddy. He beat down the Young Bucks and chased off Jack Perry. making them all look like little boys in the big boy playground.
A very beautiful double Scorpion death drop. Beautifully hit.
It's cool.
Yeah. It was okay. It was what it was. Just
Mm-hmm.
the highlight of this match. The highlight of this match was the return of Sting. Like once Sting came out, it overshadowed everything that happened in this match, and you're kind of like, oh, this is why we did all this. So is Sting gonna pull what every other retired wrestler does? He's like, I retired, but I'm gonna come back. He's already talked about, they're gonna do All In Globe Life Stadium next year. We never know where I'll be watching from. I'm just like, are we gonna like?
I wouldn't mind if they brought him back as a mouthpiece for Darby or something, or find some other role for him. I just don't want to see him wrestle.
I love.
Don't
Sting.
have him do the Ric Flair thing.
I love Sting, but I don't think Sting can be a mouthpiece. I think Sting's going to be like some people, like Austin is right now. I don't want to be just a mouthpiece. I want to be in. So I just have a feeling if they're going to do anything that tickles Sting's wrestling need, they're going to want him to get in the ring.
Coochie coochie coo.
Oh hell!
And hopefully we're not going to have Sting and Darby Allin come back to take the tag team titles away from the Young Bucks because they're the only people in the world that can do it. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
At least that would make some logical sense since they've never really lost them.
Yeah.
They were not defeated for them, that's all I'm saying.
So the main event was a great classic match. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. Both men got nice, big, important entrances. The big story here was Bryan's kids were at ringside with Brie. We got to see Brie. And they told the story, and Brie didn't want to see Bryan lose and go out on those terms. She wanted to go out on his own terms. Bryan got busted open early on. Swerve hit him with about 4 or 5 last calls. Every finisher Swerve has in his scenario, he gave Bryan. Now remember, it took like 3 house calls to take out Ospreay for Swerve to beat Ospreay, but Ospreay beat Bryan. But Bryan took more from Swerve. And then he suddenly looked at his family and he hulked up and he was impervious to pain. And then Hangman Page about ruined the whole damn thing. And why did you have this, Tony Khan? I get there's a storyline about Hangman being crazy and obsessed with Swerve and wanting him to cost everything. But there was no purpose tonight to have Hangman come out to the audience and cause that minor distraction. That match would have ended there. I think it would have been booted out of the building. But luckily, it didn't end there. It bounced back. And eventually, Bryan Danielson got the big win with the Rashuda knee. At one point, he hit the knee on Swerve, and Swerve no-sold it, took it, and brushed it off. But I'm just like, oh, no.
I like that. Yeah.
No. Anyways, in the end, Bryan Danielson wins and is your new AEW World Champion. How long will this be? I don't know. Will this be a short champion? Is Christian going to be the catalyst that screws Bryan out of his title by cashing in his open-ended contract, taking that title off, and then we're going to have Christian Cage as the AEW World Champion? Just to have the return of Adam Copeland, which might be coming up soon. We're going to continue that feud for the AEW World title. And does that help the world title feel important, or does that digress it after what Swerve has kind of done with it? They definitely kind of they dropped the ball with Swerve, but then they gave him the big win with Ospreay. So it kind of felt like they lifted him up. I thought Swerve should have won this match to continue his big thing, but no, they gave it to Bryan Danielson, which is good. But I don't know where Bryan Danielson goes with this title. Like, again, it's like, where do you go with him in the title now?
Before we go about the future of Bryan Danielson in the AEW World Championship, let's just give flowers to the fact that he got his original ROH music.
Yes.
The final count and indies. The proper music. So if this was going to be his last match, at least he got the proper music. And so to be able to go and win the championship and have that music play again.
Yes.
I thought it was the right call.
Paid for it twice. So, I mean, I'll give it to Tony Khan. He showed up the money for Final Countdown this time. So, yes, we can't be too mad about that.
No.
Now, where do you go from here? You've already laid out one possibility with Christian in the open-ended contract.
Well, that's the only thing we know.
My question is there anyone in AEW right now, whether they're up to that level or not, is there anyone you would like to see him defend against?
there's one man that would make sense, but I don't know if it's the right man because he already has a title, and that would be Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, Okada would make sense of legendary, the story of who Okada is and what his presence prior to AEW is. I mean,
his
if
legacy.
you look at yes, his legacy. Looking at Okada and AEW, you're just kind of like, but yeah. And Okada did his.
Well, that's like looking at.
Okada makes me mad at Steve Austin, and that pisses me off. That Okada makes me mad at Austin because Austin started the whole finger thing, and now it's like everybody does it. Everybody who does it now. It's like it's not you don't have the same impact of why Austin did it. Okada doing it is just like, oh.
But there's a reason why Okada does it. It's not, and it has nothing to do with Austin.
I know,
right?
But Austin started it.
Well, you want to talk. You want to talk about
Well,
like you want to talk about like New Japan lore and who he should defend it against. I mean, you want to go with the Grand Slam champ. You got to go with Jay White as well.
Okay.
As like just.
Anyways.
Yeah. Why you gotta brush over him like that? I know he's been booked bad, but come on.
Because he's safety scissors. How's he ever going to be unless he gets presented to AEW as a world champion? He's not going to be anybody but a guy they're going to feed, a jobber to the stars.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So I mean, you could say it. And I'd love to see it, but I don't think Jay White's in the right company.
No, he's not. We all know this.
So, I mean, you want to say Jay White, and it'd be a good match, no doubt. The in-ring work would be great, but I just, like, what story are you going to tell to get me excited about Jay White at this point? It's kind of like when you put the House of Black in these trio title matches. I can't get excited to even suspend my disbelief that they're going to win it because of the way they've been booked. And if it's true that Buddy Matthews re-signed because he got a buttload of money, I'm kind of, like, disappointed in Buddy Matthews because I'm like, you took money? Instead of being over in the other company where you could be closer to your wife and maybe take out Dominic Mysterio. I mean.
And he said on X, DK, can I get some time off? Take care of.
Yes.
There's just certain things. And it's like with Jay White, it's really going to take a lot now to get me invested in the Jay White.
Well, yeah, unfortunately. But I mean, how do you think I feel? You know what I mean?
No, I get it, but I'm just
same thing with Okada. Okada too. You made him look like a booch. He is the bag carrier for the tampon bucks.
And now my question:
I got nothing.
Where's Ricochet gonna fit in all this? And I just feel like there's one thing for Ricochet to do. That's Ricochet Ospreay. And then once Ricochet faces Ospreay, he's just going to fall down the trenches to mid-tier. He might fall into an Orange Cassidy
Ricochet, go home and collect your check. It's okay. Everyone else does. Go sit in catering.
Man, Ricochet debuting in the Gauntlet match. Could have been the right match. The wrong placement. No fanfare. No big engine, just nothing. I mean, look what they did for Adam Copeland.
He's here
when he showed up. It was like, yay, we got Adam Copeland. It was a big banger of a moment. Adam Cole got a bigger moment than Ricochet in the switchover. Flair had a bigger moment than Ricochet did tonight.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné came in with a bigger banger of a fanfare, and she's been the worst thing for AEW TV since she showed up, and here we are, debuting Ricochet in the middle numbers of a gauntlet match, which we could have made it special, but we didn't take the opportunity to make it special. And there was nothing. I mean, come on. At least Roman Reigns helped sell AJ Styles when he made his debut in WWE at number 3 in the Royal Rumble. At least that all felt special because even Roman Reigns' face as they were showing him, like, who's that? You were like, yay.
Yes.
Ricochet came out and you were kind of like, the music played and you're like, I can't. Of course, their sound is so shitty. AEW and their music sound. Like sometimes you're like, what's this theme? I'm like, huh? Oh, yeah. Oh. And then you're like, who's this? And it shows Ricochet's name and just the basic. I mean, I think one of your kids could have done a better PowerPoint presentation of his, that went up on the screen than that. It was just kind of a black and gold, and it said Ricochet, and then he came out, and it looks like
It
he came
started
out
with an R and then went to Ricochet.
Yeah. He came out, and it looked like he was just coming out for a WWE match. Like he just wrestled the yesterday for WWE and just walked across the street. Like, oh, I'm here to wrestle now. Like there was nothing different.
Hi, guys.
It was just like, how do you not present Ricochet? How do you not present Ricochet as a big deal chain? Like they did not give me a damn thing to be excited for Ricochet already. Like
Even if you didn't believe that you could capitalize on WWE fame, there was still indie fame they could have capitalized on, and they just haven't. I don't understand.
Yes.
Well, and he barely got highlighted in that match. He got a couple of his high points, and it was just like the whole match became about Christian Cage once Christian Cage came out. I'm just like, how did we waste so many big names in that match? That's one that hurts my brain.
See, this is also one of those matches where you didn't think Ricochet was going to win, but they could have set up his first feud.
They could have set up anything. Hell, Zack Sabre Jr. was in there. Why wouldn't you set up a match between him and Zack Sabre Jr.? Good God. The opportunity was there. But why wouldn't you take the man that just came off a contract who's been the most talked about and set him up as a big freaking deal for the night? Like, you guys, he just came out just like a newbie.
He's here. He's here. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, he's here.
It's I don't know. Hopefully they do something on AEW Dynamite to rebound from that, but I don't know if you can. You get that one first impression, and I just can't believe they did that.
You're right. You can't change the first impression, but you can build on it if you so have the intelligence to do so. If.
Those are the key words you just said. Tony Khan has the intelligence to do so. That's what scares me. That's where
you use Tony Khan and intelligence in the same sentence. That's a stretch.
That's why I'm looking at like you didn't capitalize to make it feel big, and now here we are looking at this going, I don't know how to. Yes, Sasha Banks doesn't have it anymore. You're exactly right, people. Sasha Banks does not have it anymore. I'm trying to look over X to see if there's anything worth going over, because now we're just here.
We've kind of gone over it, and there's really...
Oh, I forgot. Then we had the end of the Bryan Danielson match with Swerve. He was celebrating in the ring. Some random people started walking down the entrance ring and grabbed his kids. Then we figured out it was Claudio Castagnoli and Willow Yuta. They helped them in the ring. And then we panned over, and there's the third member of the new Trios tag team, Pac. It was the most bizarre, weirdest thing to ever see. Here's Bryan Danielson winning the title, celebrating with his wife and kids, and the other members of the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli and Willow Yuta. And there's Pac. Now, granted, Pac won the titles with him, but we don't know if he's an official member of the Blackpool Combat Club or not. He looked lost. Like, his face was kind of like, should I be out here? And there was no Jon Moxley. Now, granted, me and Mr. Clarke talked about this off air, and he says he thinks he's on vacation. And I'm like, his wife was, Renee Paquette was in town. Why wouldn't Jon Moxley be there? And even if he's on vacation, why wouldn't you at least fly him in? Even if he didn't wrestle tonight, why wouldn't you fly him in to celebrate with his boy at the end of the show? A whole lot better than having Pac out there looking like he was just, lost. It was weird.
Yes, very much so.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. That was the show. We are going to be back tomorrow night with your Monday Night Post Show Review. Tuesdays on Patreon. It's your New Japan World Wrestling Rebound podcast. That'll be airing on Wednesdays here on the channel, along with Shane A. I bought in Markdom We Trust. Then we'll be back Friday with your SmackDown Post Show Review, and probably after SmackDown we'll do a prediction show for Bash in Berlin, which happens next Saturday in the morning again. It'll be an early, long day, and it'll be even a longer day for me and Mr. Z.
Longer day.
Me and Mr. Z will be heading up north to Sacramento, California, to the California Auto Museum for Supreme Pro Wrestling's Cruisin For A Bruisin event at the California Automobile Museum, which is at 2200 Front Street in Sacramento, California. Tickets are $20. You can buy tickets at eventbrite.com or go to Supreme Pro Wrestling Facebook page. Follow all the links there to get all that information. Check the description below. I put a link in there for all that stuff. So that's what's coming out this week. Then next Sunday, we will be back with our normal time for this weekly roundup. The first one in September. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are days, minutes, hours away from another month in the books. We are headed into September, and the great thing about September is that means the smell of and the feel of cooler weather should be right around the corner. Get back to hoodie season. Of course, a lot of people are happy and tickled pink right now. I don't know if some of them are in Mr. Clarke's house, but I know a lot of people are in the joy that it is now what they call pumpkin spice season. Not my thing.
Don't say that out loud. My wife might be watching. Don't say that. Don't bring it up. No.
Hey, Starbucks already has pumpkin spice lattes ready to go. Save Mart has pumpkin pie seasoning all ready to go. Pumpkin spice.
I've already have a pumpkin spice frappuccino.
Yeah. Do you like
at Starbucks?
Does she like eggnog?
No.
Oh,
nope.
They have pumpkin spice eggnog coming out at Nutri-Milk.
Ooh.
I love eggnog.
I don't know how. I love eggnog too, but I don't know. Don't mix the eggnog.
They do at Nutri-Milk. They do it, but hey, have you had the Nutri-Milk yet? You need to try that Nutri-Milk.
No, not yet.
Mr. Clarke has had it, and he knows. They have a root beer float milk.
I'll have to pick some up when I drive back home from work one day. I'll have to
get you the root beer. If you like root beer float, get the root beer float, or get the orange sickle. The banana milk is amazing. If you like banana flavored. You think in your mind.
I'm an orange.
I'm
an orange creamsicle guy. Okay,
that's
like
drinking. It's a drinkable orange creamsicle, and all their things. It's not overbearingly strong orange flavor. Like it's enough that you get that taste, but it's not overbearing. They have a root beer float that Mr. Clarke had when he was here, and I told him about it. He's like, okay, and he was hesitant. And he's like, this is like the perfect mixture of root beer float.
Because I'm lactose, it'll probably be worth screwing my stomach up for a weekend.
They do make lactose milk too. They do make regular lactose milk.
Well, I'm about to take a trip. We might have to stop on through.
Well, I mean, you can go out to the dairy, which is down the road from here, but they also sell it at Save Marts and all the local grocery stores.
All right, yeah, I'll check that out.
Anyways, so there's that. We're headed into September. September is getting exciting. September 28th. Luna Comic-Con, as it's been announced, MVP will be there and Shelton Benjamin will be there. Some people are excited. Some people are like, nah. I won't get into details and all that. Of course, we're going to meet
their first IWGP Intercontinental Champion.
Thank you.
Come on.
That's why I have to be excited.
The historicness of that is important.
Yes. That's why I feel like I just need to get one good shout out from this man. I just want to see how much he's going to charge me for it.
Yeah, I will keep personal opinions and personal stories to myself. No,
Can we get to talk about this on Patreon?
It boils down to a time when I was in the military and we ran into him. He was very disrespectful to my fellow brothers in arms.
Okay, I got you. That's enough. Enough said.
And
so he's a POS. We get it. That's horrible.
There's footage that I've seen where he was disrespectful to somebody I majorly respect in the military. So that's a different story, different time. Not going to get into the details.
Yes.
I just have personal issues with him, so I'm not a big fan of supporting him. Shelton Benjamin. I mean, I wish I could.
Again, better used in New Japan
than
he was his, second run or whatever, his latest run in WWE.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's great stuff there. It's just, it's if you're a fan, congratulations. If you're not, he's just kind of a guy that's there. and it's sad because I think there's talent there, but it's kind of hard to get excited for somebody that you're like,
Mm-hmm.
And that's
but the biggest thing that's coming out of Lodi Comic Con.
Oh, it's our interview with AJ Kirsch. AJ Kirsch, yes, our big interview with AJ Kirsch.
Finally.
And of course, September will be busy because we have the Lodi Comic Con, and of course on September, I believe it is usually, let's see here, it will be September 15th at Elk Grove, California, at the indoor soccer arena, or the home to SPW. There'll be a Supreme Pro Wrestling event there. I forget what it's called. I did read it at one point, and they had a title name for it, but I forgot what it was. They're going to have Plead the 5th on September 15th at the Soccer World Indoor Arena in Elk Grove, California. Plead the 5th. Cruisin For A Bruisin, I do not have any card for yet, so I still can't reach you who's going to be there, what's going to go down, or how it's going to play out. And so now that we know the kind of layout and how things go, hopefully we'll get some more interviews with some of the stars of Supreme Pro Wrestling. Maybe we'll get one of them to chop Mr. Z.
Yo, man, just
You know
that's the gimmick.
Yes, that's the gimmick. That's the way it is. Anyways, you like your meat beaten, so hey.
Oh God.
I got nothing. I think we're done, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long freaking day. It's been a long freaking day, and I think some of us got to go get dinner fixed and other things done. So we will see you tomorrow for your Raw post-show review. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you as always. Have a good night.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.